Hello and welcome to my update from the second evening of the 2023 Dales Divide. Let's go and have a look at the map and see what's gone on overnight. So as you can see, it's a fast race and the first guys are almost done. So Justinas Levika has got a pretty substantial lead now. He's pretty much got it in the bag. Total distance is 596k and he is on 586, so basically he's got 10k to go. So it looks like he's well and truly got it in the bag, and his pedigree has really paid through. But behind him, we've got a really tight race, certainly in the men's field for second place. So we've got Joe Thomas, Oliver Hayward, Liam Yates, Bryn Davis, and they're all within like basically a K or so, K and a half of each other. So they've just crested the last sort of big high point, and then they've got another little dip down before the big descent down to the finish. So that's going to be really interesting to watch. So yeah, they've done really well. So let's have a look at the race flow and see how that kind of came about through the night. Now you can see here that Justinas' lead has grown pretty consistently. He's obviously just the fastest guy there, and that is kind of represented by the gap here, just going up. But you can see, so Liam obviously he had a good charge. So this morning, sort of 5 a.m, it looks like he got into second position, but it looks like he may have faded a little bit this afternoon. Not quite sure what's going on with Sam Davison. He's obviously had a tracker outage in the night, so it looks like he might have been up there all along. It's sometimes hard to tell with these trackers, if there are problems in a race where it's only sort of less than 2 days for the winner. There's not always time to get the trackers sorted out, but it looks like they're good now. Ollie Hayward, this group has been together pretty much the whole way through. No one's really had any stops. There's one here, I think that was a checkpoint early on. You can see the flat line there, that's like not moving time. So yeah, it's a really nice tight race in there. So it'd be interesting to see how that develops over the next few days. There's also been some pretty substantial changes overnight in the women's race. So yesterday Molly Weaver was leading and she had quite a substantial lead over second place Nikki Shaw. However, overnight both of them have scratched. So that gives us a new leader of Liz Hughes, and see Liz is right up there with the guys as well. So she's only she's within 50k of that kind of chase for second place, which is pretty damn good. And I think we've pretty much established that women are just as strong as guys over these kind of distances. In actual fact, the guys are pretty stronger this kind of shorter one, but when it gets longer and longer, women just come into their own even more. So that's a really good ride by Liz. So Molly, I saw a post from her. She wasn't, the vibe I got, she wasn't 100% sure whether she'd be like fully racing it or not, but she left the race, scratched a few hours ago, just over halfway. Still got a ride back. That's the thing about this. You scratch somewhere, especially in Yorkshire, there's not a train to take you home again, so you've got a ride. Got everything out of it as Highland Trail 550 prep, which is at the end of May, so just over a month. Digging herself a bit of a hole with an injury that she doesn't really want to get into right now. So it's obviously she's not in the physical position she wants to be in at the moment. So she's basically taken a smart call, I'd say, to cut short rather than injure herself and risk jeopardising the Highland Trail. And as you can see, the Great British Supply location, Greg's Bakery, a nice pasty or a sausage roll and a coffee, and that'll get you home anywhere. So yeah, that's what happened to Molly. And then Nikki. So this post is going to show you a lot about the conditions the riders have been facing. So she scratched in York, which is kind of the big city on the route, caught a stomach bug or heat stroke or both. Again, she just didn't feel ill and want to justify going through. I suspect it might well be heat stroke, because you see this this post here. She's obviously got totally burnt by the sun, and it's really tricky at this time of year because this is the first. It's a classic British sunshine behaviour. The first sunny weekend of the year, no sunscreen, out exposed up high, no tree cover. and she's got absolutely roasted. You can see by the sunburn and the rather fetching helmet strap lines and glove marks. And you can see it's pretty muddy up there as well, so it's obviously wet underfoot still, or under tyre. So potentially slow going higher up. So unfortunately, Nikki has also scratched. And another interesting thing I found, I kind of speculated last night about what the conditions would be like. It looked like it could be pretty cold, and it's colder than I thought. So this is what Neil had to say on the matter. Posted this morning. Dales Divide, second morning, cold night from hell.
Oh, what a night!
The video's not working, unfortunately.
What a night! That was, yeah, pretty tough. It was going so well up until Boroughbridge. Boroughbridge through to York was not too bad, but then the mud started. You could tell just after Boroughbridge there's a section of trails and it was starting to get really muddy. Like the Yorkshire Dales drains really well, but as soon as you come down into the farmland, it's like it's a tram smash. And then it got really cold as well. So it's been down to 0 degrees, freezing fog. All the trails are just so muddy and slow.
Well, there we go. That explains a lot there. It's obviously tough going, probably tougher than people anticipated. So Neil will be talking about this section here, kind of in the farmland area. It's a little bit up and down, no big substantial climbs. I mean, if you look at the kind of the map, it's this area here, so there's nothing massive, but it's just up and down all the time. Obviously not as well draining. I guess a lot of the rain is coming down off the moors. So it's probably no coincidence that people have started taking a shortcut through up here and avoiding that section. That's a kind of a predetermined shortcut. As I said, it's a bit of a grassroots event, so it gives people the get out of jail free card if they don't want to go all the way around. So yeah, so that's Neil. He's still going though. Let me see where he is. Neil Copeland. Yeah, so he's on the return leg. So doing well. So I'm just going to refresh the locations, see where Justinus is. Has he won yet? Not quite. He must be almost there. Pretty much done there. So what I'll do is I'll get Windy up. We'll check the weather, and then hopefully by the time I'm back, Justinus will have finished. So let's see what the riders can expect tonight. So this will be the second night of the event. As you can see, there's still this big cold front. So, like Neil was saying, it's probably going to be cold on the high ground. So, any riders going around this edge section out towards the moors, they're going to probably be quite slow going and quite cold. And then into tomorrow, again the winds. It looks like there might be a bit of a tailwind, sort of tomorrow afternoon if you're on the kind of the western point, but then. In the afternoon, the winds are really picking up. So it looks like warm air. It's going to warm up a bit. But yeah, the wind is going to be challenging. So that's what the riders have to look forward to tomorrow. We'll go back to the tracker. I'll hit refresh and see if Justinus has won this thing yet. Looks like he's not quite there. He's still got a few K to go. So he's got 1K to go. So I'll leave that for tomorrow. But there we go. There we have it. That is the second day of the 2023 Dales Divide. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like these kind of race updates. And yeah, I will come back tomorrow with a roundup, and I'll see you all then.